All right, guys, we are back, and we're gonna do some Q&A. Thanks for tweeting a bunch of questions here, and we'll start off by asking some of these good ones here. All right, it says, where is it? All right, well, Hearthstone calendar. He asked, any interest in a centralized calendar of Hearthstone tournaments? Is there is there one that you already like? What do you think about that? Do you think there should be like a centralized Hearthstone calendar so that event organizers can all, I guess, be coordinated, not overlap like this weekend that we're seeing? Gnimsh, you seem to be shaking your head. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
definitely. There should be a calendar. Like one place where we can go and see all the tournaments listed, and where people can actually add tournaments by themselves. So when you, well, a lot of players, they're just not aware about the tournaments. Like I have a lot of friends who play Hearthstone. They're like they hit Legend and they ask me, okay, I hit Legend, now I can play the tournaments. Where do I look? And like there's a lot of tournaments that are being hyped by Blizzard or like on Reddit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was MLG, now there's ESL and Zodiac, but players just don't know where to look. And like we are on those sites. Oh my God, what's going on outside? So
The Russians are coming.
yeah, it's weird. So there's like a lot of sites that we go on daily basis, but those players who just play the game, they don't know about it. So it would be good to have this one calendar where you can always go every day and check what's going on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff going on, so definitely, yeah.
Okay. Peanut.
One,
Oh, go
like,
ahead.
wait a
Eka.
second.
Yeah.
To
Go.
that question, like, isn't there like Liquid Heart? I thought they have it already. Like Liquid
I
Heart
mean, there's
just
a there's
submit
a
tournaments and like they have the calendar, right?
they do, but that calendar is more like day to day type of thing, more so than somebody that's organizing something months in advance. Maybe like even like a month in advance, and you don't want to overlap with somebody that already has something planned. A lot of times, people put entries onto like Liquid Hearth calendar or even like other sites like IRV or Hearthpoint, whichever site that you're talking about. They don't usually do it until maybe a day or two or a couple days, a few days before. So I think this would be more like, just there's this global calendar that all event organizers can use as a reference, not to schedule an event on this weekend because somebody already has it, type of thing.
Well, to be fair, many tournaments don't are not set in stone up until
Yeah,
like
that's true.
several days earlier.
Several days early. Oh, that's not great. It's not set for several days earlier, but yeah, in general, I guess my comment is that, yeah, I think that would be a great idea for sure. Okay, next up, Peanut Slayer asks. He says that Reynad said on his stream that Priest will be one of the top or even best class after Nax. What are your thoughts on it? Trump, do you have any thoughts on Priest being better in Nax from what you've seen so far?
Well, obviously they're getting a really good card, 3/4 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if that'll make them the best. It's really hard to make that prediction.
Yeah. I mean, just saying the best is yeah, definitely really tough and hard to even distinguish right now. Any of you guys think that Priest is going to have a
I've
huge jump?
I think like because there's huge focus on death rattle,
Mm-hmm.
and Priest has this one thing called silence. I kill you. So like mass silence and silence all the death rattle effects. But I
Okay,
agree that
sure.
it's hard to say that the Priest will be the best class. I mean, Shaman also looks pretty good with Earthshock
Mm-hmm.
being one of the well, the best silence spell in the game. So one mana silence class ability, where you also can add those mediocre silence card like Iron Beak and Spellbreaker,
Yeah.
will make Shaman a really powerful, important class.
Yeah. Okay. Um, let's see. Ek0p. Joe Adishito. I'll ask you this one. Or Spooks Magook Grooks. What is your opinion on the difference between NA and EU meta? Do you think it's hard to adjust from one to the other for a player?
Um, in my opinion, NA it's easier to ladder on NA first of all. Obviously, shots fired right again. But yeah, it's true. I mean, you can ask any pro, and like almost everyone will say the same thing. It's harder to ladder on EU simply because like there's just way more players on EU as far as I know, and therefore also more pros. So um, therefore it's harder to ladder on EU because you will face more pros in the higher ranks. So Yeah, that's like the main factor.
Okay.
So
I mean,
as far as
it's-
meta games are
yeah.
concerned, I have no idea because I've never been playing on NA, and
Okay.
yeah, so I cannot give any information on that.
Trump, Gnimsh, you guys play on both pretty regularly. I think Trump, you do, right? Or you've played at least some every season on EU at some point.
Not so much.
Not so much. Okay.
I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, I think, but I think the earlier statement that maybe there's not so many warriors at EU, so Frost Mage is really good there, as an example, might be one difference. You just gotta adapt.
Right. Gnimsh.
I think like there is a huge difference with the player base because when you're playing on an A, the metagame seems more streamlined because people, well, NA people mostly read NA stuff and like stuff in English. So if there is something really popular, in general, they will try to pick it up and try to net deck. Obviously, there are those like groups of people like clans and guilds and like teams who try to devise their own decks or counter the metagame. But in general, the general population will get all the English stuff. And in Europe, you have all those local countries that are closed. And well, for example, if there is a new deck in France and everybody in France is playing it, it's on the French forums and the other countries don't know about it. So the French players are bringing that deck and like distort the metagame. And it's true for all the other countries. Like there's much less communication because they're using their foreign languages to communicate internally within a country, and they're bringing all those things into the metagame. So I'd say that in general they are similar, EU and NA, as Trump mentioned, like this warrior difference. But in the broader perspective, and also like when Nax Ramos is released, when we have more diversity with the card pool, there will be a difference because of those local differences with regards to countries and their like foreign closed environments.
Okay. I'm chilled. Asks, do you feel that Hearthstone will ever be as popular as something like League of Legends?
Yes.
Certainly hope so.
You got thinks yes, pretty definitively. Trump, what do you think?
I stick with Gnimsh's. I hope so. It's difficult to imagine since League of Legends is so big, and it's not that Hearthstone isn't going to be big. It is really big, but will it be as big as League of Legends, which has years of history and huge teams and a really big fan base? Like, will anything ever be as big? So that's where I stand. I think Hearthstone is really big.
I think
Give it time. I mean, you should just give it time because Hearthstone officially is out since April, right? So it's absolutely
March,
still
yeah.
a brand new game, and it has already had a much higher initial growth than League of Legends had in its when it was new. And
League of Legends took years before it actually started going.
yeah, and League of Legends was actually struggling for in the early stages. Yeah, Riot
Yeah.
Games actually thought about selling League of Legends franchise to a different gaming to a different like publisher or developer or whatever. I don't even know. Like, but yeah, so Hearthstone won't have those same problems. Hearthstone already had its huge growth at the start, and it will just get exponentially higher because the business model is basically the same as League of Legends has, the free-to-play but pay-to-win, pretty much, right? And yeah, and also like it has just wider accessibility because of the mobile platforms like iPad and soon Android and iPhone, probably, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be like an insane boost to the popularity. So, in my opinion, give it a couple of years, but it will eventually become more popular than League of Legends.
Well, I think the game, like if you're just asking like if it's going to be more popular, I think the game itself is going to have more users than League of Legends eventually, just purely because of the mobile, the client, and once it gets on phones, there's a ton more people using phones than PCs, guys. So I think it's going to it'll probably cross that threshold sometime in the future.
I think it's like Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a kind of a broader question.
Yeah, I mean, as an
Because
esport, it's different. I mean, it's
yeah,
a
and also like we're talking about the gaming going more mobile. So like
Mhm.
if gaming goes mobile, then Hearthstone will go with that shift of the platform change, kind of. So
Yeah, so it's kind of a different thing. Like just again, whether the esports is going to be as big as League of Legends. Obviously, League of Legends is the biggest esport and is like going into undiscovered territory and breaking new ground. I guess from the standpoint of esports every day right now. So
yeah,
we'll see if that happens. I think that's definitely a wait and see. But I think there's no doubt that Hearthstone will have more users worldwide eventually, like more than League of Legends, just purely because of the client. All right, let's see.
Wait, can I pick a question?
Yeah, sure. Anything.
All right. So I didn't want to leave the Ek0p and my thing at that.
Okay,
Of all
sure.
people, Ek0p actually has a reason to dislike me, and props to him for not bringing it up and giving his side of it, because his side could be significantly more anti me than the version I'm going to give right now. So
Okay.
one of the reasons that I would draw Ek0p's ire is because of the Tavern Takeover match where I was up 1-0 and then Ek0p played a probably warrior against me, and I think he was in a I was playing warrior, but he was playing against me and he was in a position where it certainly looked like he was very favored to win, and then he disconnected. So as per the rules of the tournament, he was going to get a game loss, and I took it. I don't think the match was 100% decided, but he looked to be in the favored place, and I'm sure if he were like looking at the board, he'd be like, "Oh man, I was 100% to win." But given my hand, I didn't think he was. So that's some backstory.
I can add to that you always had a history. I mean, ACOP had a history against you, so that Tavern Takeover probably like pushed it over the edge. I don't know. Like that's
Yeah.
my opinion. I
Okay,
don't I
if there
don't
was
get
a
it. Why,
history before that, then I thought it was just for showmanship. But
might have
eh.
been. It's kind of weird for me actually to comment on that. I mean, I'm a friend of both of you guys, so
Let's just
maybe
let's just move on. Let's
Oh,
just
move
move
on.
on. That was definitely yeah. So I think a segment that we should not have done. I mean, it just obviously, and apologize for both you guys for even having that segment actually on the show, and all of you, just all the viewers too. Probably should not have done it. So this mistake on my part. Okay, let's get on to. Do you think the rewards for Nax adventure mode will be disenchantable?
No.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment.
I
I
mean,
have
it's
an
free
interesting-
cards pretty much, so why would you...
Yeah, I mean, there's no point, right? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you wanted, if you're on a budget and you want a different card, maybe. But how else are you going to get it again? I guess you could.
Yeah. I mean, if you disenchant it, you could technically, like, get it again by winning this whole thing again, but then it would be, like, generating money for... not money, but generating dust for free, pretty
Yeah.
much, right?
Yeah, totally. Let's see. Let's see. Dratic here asked, do you think having team battles like 2v2 or 3v3 as a playable game mode would be balanceable, and how so? Wow, that would be pretty.
This is actually a feature that I'm really hoping will come to life. 2v2 or 3v3, even like generally multiplayer. Just to give it also more of a World of Warcraft feel, with, for example, like those arena battles, those 3v3 arenas or whatever.
Mhm.
It is doable. Like it's the way Hearthstone is designed. It's really good. You do your stuff on your own turn. You just do your plays and then wait for your opponent to do all his plays. The game flow of Hearthstone is compared to other card games, it's really good for an online platform, and just adding a couple of more players to a game is not such a big deal in my opinion. I'm sure you wait a little bit longer for your turn, but
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't really matter all that much. And I just think it adds more excitement, more strategy, more fun to the games. And I really hope that they will do it in the future. But it's probably going to be in the far future if they're going to do it.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe one more. One more. Let's see. So many of them, actually.
I wanted to
Um,
comment on 2v2, but like,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
oh,
Gnimsh.
okay. So I was searching. I mean, like, the wording of cards is in the game is kind of supporting this thought about having 2v2 at least, like friendly minions, so that your minions and your friends' minions are friendly minions that can be affected by spells. Also, like there was a player who made an interface for two players, like 2v2, how it can look like with two heroes next to each other. And in Magic the Gathering and World of Warcraft TCG, like 2v2 was a mode that was used in some kind of
Yep.
fun tournaments that was pretty enjoyable. So definitely, I also support the idea.
Okay, let's see. Trying to read some of these that we haven't gone over. There's a lot of them that we've just gone over during the show. And maybe one more here. Where's one more? Okay, so there's a question about, I guess, this weekend. Is there any decks that, I guess, are there any new decks that you're going to be bringing to the tournaments, or is there any surprise decks that that maybe you're anticipating? It's kind of how do you anticipate surprise, but are there any kind of interesting new decks that you've been hearing about?
What,
Yeah,
right now
Gnimsh?
or with the next?
Gnimsh, or just
This
going
weekend?
into this weekend? Yeah, just going into the event.
Okay, so obviously it's hard to tell the viewers right now if I'm bringing any surprises
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
might give my opponents hints. But I definitely expect surprises every tournament because
Mm-hmm.
tournaments are more about like on ladder you go with consistency. You have to be really consistent with the deck. The
Yep.
deck has to work against everything more or less. And in tournaments you can use some wacky stuff like Elite Torrent Chieftain or like aggro Paladin maybe or so. It's possible to bring a deck that will actually confuse your opponent and be good against a certain pool of decks. And especially with the veto rule, it's possible to get a deck just
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So just get a deck that will actually work. Oh my god, what is going on outside?
You got the cops
So
coming to get you,
yeah,
man.
I apologize for that. So anyway, I definitely expect different new decks for the tournament format, especially if there is a twist like a veto rule.
Okay. Trump, you?
Well, especially in a tournament where you can ban out one of your opponent's classes, I fully expect there to be potential to bring something abusive because to some extent, some classes keep the other ones down. So if you can remove one, that could be huge. So I don't think there'll be any new decks. Like I think that's unlikely, but
Mhm.
I think it's likely to see some very focused decks, which might take favor, which might not have been bringable to a normal tournament because some decks counter it too hard, or some very popular decks are good against it. And that's pretty good. In terms of the tournament I'm in, I don't expect any surprises. Like I expect pretty standard play and pretty standard decks.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that's gonna be it for questions today, guys. So we'll wrap things up and call it an episode. But Ek0p, Gnimsh, thanks for coming on, and again, congratulations on the huge announcement today, and hopefully some great things to see. Can't wait to see you guys sporting the colors this weekend, or at least Gnimsh seeing you guys sporting the new colors this weekend. But
Pleasure.
you want to do some shout outs and thank yous right now, Gnimsh?
Oh yeah, definitely. So giving a shout out to all the sponsors and to Cloud9. The sponsors are HyperX, Logitech, Air Force Reserve, Alienware, Low Class, Need for Speed, Homejoy, and Sidequick. Special thanks to Low Class and HyperX. So also big shout out to Arthauses, who is no longer our teammate, but he will be always remembered as the greatest teammate that there is. And shout out to all the viewers and to all the fans. Like I hope that I will do good in the tournament in France. So at least that I will bring something interesting to the tournament. So yeah, that's it.
So he did all the sponsor shout outs for you, Ek0p. So that's really
Yeah.
nice of him. You want to do some shout outs? Other shout outs? Thank
So,
you.
yeah, of course. I'd love to do some of those shout outs. Shout outs to shout outs to my teammates, my new teammate Hafu. Shout out to Forsen and Amas, who I've joined on their Twitch streams several times
Cool.
for commentary, and it was fun, especially with Amas today. And also shout out to our agent Toby, who did a phenomenal job. Like throughout the whole time we've been signed with him. So he's always been fighting for us, trying to get the best deals anywhere, like Gadgets and Auctioneer, and that's what he did in the end. So thanks to Toby.
Okay, great. Trump, you want to do some shout outs?
Yeah, I'll just do the same shout out to all the new Cloud9 members. Congratulations on getting picked up, and congratulations on your skill being recognized. Gnimsh, Hafu, Strafcrow, Lento, and Ek0p. You deserve it.
Awesome, and I'll reiterate that too. That's amazing news for you guys, and guys that friends with, and hopefully you guys will be able to elevate that even more together, working as a team and just practicing and all that good stuff. But all the viewers, thanks for tuning in today. The VODs will be up on youtube.com/ChanManV a little bit later. Follow the channel if you enjoyed this show or any of the other shows I do each and every week, and you follow on Twitter too. If you I always announce the shows, who's going to be on, all that stuff on Twitter anytime that happens. But definitely tune in to the wellplayed.org event tomorrow, and then again, of course, the Millennium. Watch Gnimsh this weekend on Saturday and Sunday also. But that's going to be it for Value Town, guys. So for Gnimsh, Ek0p, Trump, and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next time. Later.
Bye bye.